So I actually have a true what's in the box because even though I bought this and I know what's supposed to be in it, it could be something else. And if it is something else, then I'm actually going to return it. So if you're as intrigued as I am and you want to watch the video, stick around. Welcome back, family. Thanks so much for joining. And as I said, I actually have a true what's in the box. And I'm sure you're already wondering, what the heck did he mean by that intro? Well, I'll let you know. I went on to a site called Mercari. It's kind of like Craigslist and works like eBay. There's no bidding. People put their own price up. And you can make an offer if you want and try to negotiate. And if you purchase it, as a person who buys it, the money is withdrawn and held into escrow. The item is shipped, and when the person receives it, he has 3 days to approve it or disapprove it. If he approves it, he says yes, and then the escrow money goes to the seller. So it's kind of, and of course they get their little cut. Isn't everybody got to get their cut? So you're supposed to be very, very accurate with your descriptions. So I'm going to open this one first as I'm talking. I should have already started, right? It's a very poorly wrapped package, I'll tell you that. It's got me already nervous. But what this was listed as, the title of the listing was Spider-Man 1, which was the McFarlane Spider-Man, 9.0. But the picture showed a 9.8. So you're supposed to be very accurate with it. You take pictures of the item that you are selling. This showed a picture of a 9.8 on his couch. And it's flopping around with some tissue paper in a box. So I could tell by his listings that he really didn't know what it was that he was selling. And I'm hoping that it really is not a 9.0, that it is a 9.8. Because I got it for a 9.0 price. And it's almost like I'm doing a CGC. So it is the Spider-Man, and it's the gold, and it is a 9.8. Awesome! This is funny. I paid for something, and I'm getting just as excited. This is an older 9.8. Absolutely. It is Spider-Man number 1, 1990. So do you think about that? 31 years already? Really? Wow. So yep, it's a 9.8. And I'm really, really happy on that. Mercari, if you are able to watch a site for a long period of time and constantly hit refresh, a lot of times, because it is kind of like Craigslist, people will say, oh, I have an old comic book, or I inherited these comic books, and they put something up, and I have seen recently, like ASM 129 selling, somebody puts it up, old Spider-Man comic, $100. It sold within 20 seconds. I mean, it was before I refreshed the screen and I was like, boom, and it was gone. Like, if somebody else was faster than me. I don't even get a chance to tell a person, hey, you know what? You don't want to sell that book. Somebody already got it. I did see, and this might have been a hoax. I don't even know because I tried messaging the person earlier in the year. I saw an an AF-15. And somebody wound up sold that for $900. It wasn't a reprint or anything. It was the real deal. So this one, actually, I finally jumped on the bandwagon. No, I didn't buy the New Republic. Okay, but I don't even know which version I got, to be perfectly honest. I just bought a couple because, again, the price was cool. And I decided just to... I thought I only bought 6 books. Looks like I only bought 4 books. There's 6 in here. Hey, more comics, and I'm complaining. Who is that person that's on the screen? He's an idiot. Da 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 da. Berserkers. Yeah, 1, 1, 1. 1. I don't even know which one is which, okay? So I'm just going to hold them all up for you guys to take a look at. I think I've got a bunch of different versions, and I think there's a 1 in 10 version. I got the 1 in 25 version. I got the blank version for autographs, like Keanu's ever going to do that. You have to buy 1,000 copies to get that. There's another one. This one is like a foil version. And we got that one, of course. And, of course, we got that one. So, a couple weeks ago, I finally broke down and bought an X Factor one in the bagged version so I can have a chance to get that rare, coveted Deadpool rookie card. And I still haven't bought New Republic. Sorry. I still haven't bought King in Black. Sorry. But I said, you know what? The covers are cool. And for the price, I'll buy the whole set. So I paid the price of basically like the 1 in 25 variants, and I got the rest for free. When you find a good deal, you grab it, because if they do go up in value, and even if it's not something that I particularly like, I could always, if they go up in value, I could use these as a giveaway in the future. I could use this as an AOK to somebody. I can use this as trade to somebody who does want Berserker for something that I do want. Which brings me to my next topic. With the prices going so crazy in comic books lately, some people I've talked to are afraid to put any money into the comic market. And they're trying to find, well, if I wanted to spend some money on comics, I'm afraid this bubble is going to burst. Where is a good place to put it? And I was thinking about this, and I think I've got an idea. The idea is, don't buy things that have gone up because of the bubble. And what I mean by that is, you don't want... Look, I would love to have a copy of Giant Size X-Men #1, or Daredevil #1, or ASM 300. I love to join. I wish I could join the 300 club, but I'm not going to spend that kind of money on the most graded comic book in history. But you go back in time to, let's just say, Fantastic Four. Okay, and we know that the Fantastic Four is movie. Those characters will be coming out soon. And, of course, you've got the first appearance of Dr. Doom, through the roof. Okay, 48, 49, 50, through the roof. Galactus and Silver Surfer. What about issue 47? What about issue 53? Okay, Spider-Man, what about issue number 32? What about the off keys, or the ones that are just not keys at all? These are still 1960s comic books. X-Men number 18. Daredevil number 9. The books that don't have a first appearance of anything. It's still very hard to find those in a decent grade. And by decent grade, this is for you to decide what you consider to be a decent grade. I have seen a couple of books that I picked up because I saw there were, 1960s books presented very well, and they were an 8.0. 8.0 for a coming up on 60-year-old comic book. 55-year, 60-year comic book. 8.0 is a great grade. And also, you think about it, at that time, kids didn't get them they got them all from the newsstand. It was 100% newsstand edition. They didn't put them into bags and boards. They didn't treat them as carefully as we do now. So to have something that is from that time period that is an 8.0 or higher, you're really looking at scarcity. Now, if you look at it as supply and demand, okay, and that's what drives the prices of comic books. And I get that. So if you can get an 8.0 Daredevil number 14, okay, and I haven't looked up every single issue, so 14, if it's a key issue, I apologize. I'm just using it as an example, okay? If you can get an off-key first 20, 50, 12-cent comic book, Journey into Mystery that does right before Thor, Amazing Adult Fantasy before number 15, okay? If you get one of these comic books and it costs you $100 or $200, it got that value in the first place on its own. Okay, not because of this bubble. Maybe a little bit, a certain percentage, but nowhere, it doesn't have the same attention as everything else. And in the long run, even if this bubble does pop and prices do come down, those books are not going to be as affected. Okay? And in case anybody remembers, we did already have a bubble pop in the past when they were overproducing everything out of comic books. Okay, the market it will not be the death of comics. It won't. There's too many of us. A lot of people will dump their collections, at which point that's our time to buy them. And we'll have them, and then there'll be another surge someday in the future when they actually start releasing movies in the movie theater again. It could happen. Yeah. So, but there will always be people that are building those runs, that are looking for the great copies. I mean, if you can find a 9.0, that would be fantastic. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find a couple real quick. Okay, so I pulled out 3 books, and none of them are 12-cent books. So I'll just let you know that right now. They're in the, there are no particular first appearances or anything like that. So we're going to go with first. Actually, I'm wrong. This is a first appearance. But I bought this because I just really liked it. And this was before everything blew up. And Iron Man number 118 was the first appearance of James Rhodes. And I got this because I didn't want to go with the Armor War. I knew Armor Wars was going to come out. And the when he actually becomes War Machine, and the first time he wears the armor, and the first time he does this with the armor, there's too many little, it could be this, it could be that. But I figured a nice safe bet would be the first appearance of James Rhodes. And this had already gone up in price a little bit, and it was a 9.2. Okay, it's a 35-cent book. You can get books in this time frame in a 9.2 for $50, $60. It presents really well. I love these kind of books. This next one I got for $55. Okay? It's Captain America and Falcon. Number 157 from 1973. It's a 20-cent book. First appearance of the Viper, Jordan Strike. Oh, that's a character that's not ever going to appear in the MCU. It's okay. But somebody is going to put together a run. And they're going to be looking for Captain America books. And they're going to be looking for good quality books. I have a 9.0 with white pages from 1973. In 2 years, this book becomes 50 years old. The value of this book there'll always be value of this book to somebody. And even if the market drops down on a lot of these key books, these books did not go up because of the bubble, so they're not going to go down because of the bubble. They've had that steady stream for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and they will continue that trend because they're not affected by market volatility. Ooh, there's a good one. This one, I just saw the cover, and I just love the way the colors popped on this. Tomb of Dracula, number 58, 30-cent book. It does have a Blade appearance. It's maybe the, 10th time Blade actually fights in a comic book. It's nothing specific. Blade's in it. That's its big claim to fame. 8.5 off-white to white pages. Okay? I mean, seriously. That just really pops. I love that. Again, 1977. Do the math. 44 years. I'm noticing that none of these books are as old as I am, and that's sad. But you can get a lot of these books. These are great investment, in my opinion, to go, especially if you can go to a show. You're going to find people with 8.5s, 9s of books that they're just looking to move. They're not these, okay? They're not the ones that are like, oh, first appearance of this, first appearance of that, first appearance of this, and oh, that's when this happened, that's what happens. People look at that like, what happens in that book? Nothing. It's just a good book. It's just a good grade. And you can also find raws. If you're going through, the back issue boxes, look for those 12, 15, 20, 25-cent books in excellent condition. If you find something that you think can be graded at an 8.5 or a 9, it's great to have it slabbed. You're locking in its grade. And if it's a key comic book that, like Captain America or Iron Man or Avengers or Spider-Man or Fantastic Four or X-Men, Daredevil, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman back issues are really sought after, okay? Especially if the colors pop and the artistry on the covers pops, and you can encapsulate it and get it certified in a near mint or, very fine condition. These books are not around. And that market will always trend upwards. And, it's like when the stock market is doing poorly, you get out of the volatile stocks and you put it into bonds and a regular savings account just to earn that little interest. This is a good time to get those bonds just for the small interest rates. If you're worried about today's market, you don't want to pump any money into it. This is a good time to take whatever you want to put it into the books that will appreciate slowly. So I hope that you found this information beneficial. I really am trying to come up with the best ways possible to share with the community, any way to not just do well monetarily, but really enjoy yourself. Because nobody wants to go and save up all their money and spend $2,000 on a comic and come back in a year and find out that it's worth $500. Okay, I would much rather you took that $2,000 and bought a whole bunch of books that look really cool on the wall, and you really love these books, and you added them up, and they're all worth $2,010 in a year from now. Okay, it went up $10. Big whoop. But my wall looks cool. Okay, or I really have fun enjoying these things. You might even get a personal attachment to these. You might say, I bought these so that way they go up a little in value and I can trade them to somebody who needs them in the future so I can get such and such. Yeah, I don't see myself trading that Tomb of Dracula. I love the way it looks. I just think it's cool. Okay, it's just like, the Berserker comics. I look at them like, yeah, they look cool. All right, I'll get them. And isn't that what it is all about? This is not a job. This is a hobby. Hobbies are supposed to be fun and fulfilling. So I hope that you are finding fulfillment in this. I hope that you're also finding monetary enjoyment in it as well. As crazy as everything is these days, just be careful. But again, if you found this information helpful, please, I implore you to share it with somebody else. And, click like. It always helps. Subscribe if you haven't. Click notifications, and I try to come out with these videos as often as I can. And until next time, I'm out. Okay, here's a reminder. The 200 subscriber video is still active, and I'm including the link to it right about here. So if you haven't, go back, watch this video, make sure you're a subscriber, leave a comment, and like the video. You do those three things, I hit 200 subscribers, I give this book away to somebody, and I will pay for shipping anywhere in the continental United States. And if you're outside of the continent, we'll work out something. You're going to get this book. Okay? But you got to do those three things. Subscribe, like, and make a comment on the video for the 200 subscriber. All right? Thanks so much, and I'm out again.